So I saw this comment on the most recent video I put up, and it's from Dirty the Grower. And he says, roast DSP about his broken bathroom and calling his mom when his tire got stolen and the whole assembly. Now, I'm not going to make a video about that, but it got me thinking about something else that I noticed a few months earlier. And this is something I don't think a lot of people know about. One day I was going through the bank leaks for a video I was working on, and I was sharing these pictures with JG, and he noticed something a little bit odd. There was a $1,000 mobile check deposit. Now, anybody that's deposited a check through their banking app knows you have to physically take a picture of a check you've received and then upload it to your bank. Then, depending on the amount, they'll make a portion of it available to you. But then we noticed there were two of them, and at first we were confused about what they could be. This was during the time of COVID, and I'm assuming the first round of stimulus checks had already went out. But they weren't for that amount, and why is he cashing two of them? Doesn't Ket have her own account? But then we noticed this was a couple of weeks before his birthday. So we started speculating. Was this guy still getting $1,000 checks on his birthday from both of his parents every year? And at first we were like, well, how can this even be proven? But thankfully for us, the bank leaks go back to March of the previous year. And what did we find just days before his birthday? Well, how about two more $1,000 mobile check deposits? And by the way, look what he spends his money on both times, almost immediately after getting these checks. So what's the reality here? Either DSP, as a now 42-year-old grown man, is still getting $1,000 birthday presents from both of his parents every year, and hiding it, by the way. And trust me, we're going to get into that in a minute. Or, I don't even know what the alternative could be. What, he's getting tax return checks every year? I think we all know that ain't the case. Is his rich uncle that supposedly once bailed him out of his tax problems still sending him money? How about some dumb fuck like Jax or Planet Jeff sending him $1,000 birthday checks every year? I mean, you let me know in the comments what you think this could possibly be besides his parents. And look, man, there's nothing wrong with your mom or dad giving you a birthday present every year, even as a grown man. My mom still does that for me, but that's because she loves me and I'm still her little baby. But when you're making over $100,000 a year, you shouldn't be accepting stuff like that. And here's the question I want to ask you, Phil. What do you get for your parents every year for their birthday? I bet you I already know the answer. Nothing. So I had to edit the video here because I already had everything written out and all the clips ready to go. But then JG showed me a clip from 2017 where DSP is blatantly admitting that he's relying on this birthday money from his parents in order to pay all the bills. Play the clip.
If you pledge to my Patreon by the end of March, I get that money the first week of April. That money will go directly towards the bills so that I can pay them for the month of April, okay? And the other thing is, if you're watching my live streams on Twitch, all right, if you tip me, meaning if you actually send me that tip, the way you do that is when you're watching me on Twitch, underneath my Twitch channel, there's a page with all this info, my rules and links to everything. There's a section that says tips. If you click on that, it brings you to my tips page where you can send me a tip via the stream. That money I get right now. So I can immediately apply that money to my bills as well. If enough people help me by pledging to Patreon by the end of this month, the next 4 days or so, by buying stuff on Teespring or by tipping me on Twitch, I should be okay, but I don't know. Right now, I'm nowhere near close enough. And the bottom line is right now what I'm kind of hinging on, which is really bad. My parents every year usually give me a birthday present. I'm actually counting on my birthday present to hopefully be enough, because I don't know what they're giving me, to pay my bills in April. That's terrible. A birthday present that's supposed to be, oh, here's something nice for you for your birthday, is literally going to be like my necessary income to pay my fucking bills in April because of all this bullshit that happened on YouTube.
He's in such a panic. He's having to explain step by step on how people can tip him. Phil, just put the fucking link in the description and let them figure it out. Yeah, maybe Jade and Derek need some help with it, but once they get it the first time, they'll be fine. And by the way, the reason he's going through all this isn't because of taxes or some kind of medical emergency. He just switched from machinima to curse and his ad revenue was down. This is why he's fucking panicking and doing emergency updates. It never ends with this guy. But then he says, my parents every year usually give me a birthday present. I'm actually counting on it because I don't know what they're giving me to pay my bills in April. Well, if they give you a birthday present every year, you probably know how much it's going to be. But it doesn't even matter. The point was to establish that he gets money from his parents every single year on his birthday. So let's go ahead and take a look at a more recent celebration of birth. And I want you to listen to what he claims he got from his supposed family. Play the clip.
All right, so that's it for the tips. But now, if the look over here on the YouTube side of things, we've got Sarah Sagata did a super chat and said, "Happy B-Day. Did you get any gifts you could tell us?" No, not really. You know, when you get older, you don't get gifts anymore. You know? For me, my gift for my wife is a homemade cake. She looked up a recipe online. She made the batter from scratch. She made the frosting from scratch. And I get to have a delicious cake with you guys here today live. I'm excited to try it and see how good it is. That was my birthday present for my wife. And that's it. That's all I got. I got no family or nothing. I didn't get nothing. Ronnie, no. Ronnie. Oh, my God. Ronnie says, "Are you saying the care packages only count as presents on your birthday?" Ronnie, you guys send me care packages a lot. Like, what, 3 now? You guys have been awesome. I'm talking about, someone specifically asked me about a birthday present, right? Did I get anything specific for my birthday? A birthday cake. That's what I received. And, of course, anyone who's contributing today, I would consider these, like, kind of birthday presents. But outside of, I mean, you guys sent this to me. Oh, now he says he's messing with me. Why are you going to mess with me? I don't want to offend I'm trying not to offend anyone. It's very hard. In the modern day, it's very hard not to offend people. You have to understand that. In the modern day, everyone's offended by everything, so I have to be very careful. It's like when I walk around, I'm walking on eggshells and bubble wrap. Like, careful. Don't say, if I sneeze, I might offend the nose hair clan. Say that I struck those nose hairs too strongly in my nostrils. I'll be very careful. Anyway.
The clip starts with Sarah sending him a super chat, and I wonder who that was. But Sarah asks, "Did you get any birthday gifts you can tell us about?" And Phil says, "No, not really. When you get older, you don't get presents anymore." He then goes on to say the only real gift he's getting is a homemade cake from his whore wife. I mean loving wife. Sorry about that, Phil. Slip of the tongue. But speaking of slip of the tongue, he then says, "That's it. That's all I got. I got no family or nothing. I didn't get nothing." Well, what happened to my parents every year usually give me a birthday present. I don't know how much it's going to be, but I'm counting on it to pay my bills. It's just another example of how easily this guy sits there, looks straight at the camera, and just lies to his audience. And hopefully a good Samaritan asks you about it, because I'm looking forward to hearing your explanation. One of the Dutch brothers then asked him about the care packages they sent and if those count as birthday gifts. And Phil dances around the question and says he doesn't want to offend anybody. Well, apparently you offended those dumbasses because they got the fuck up out of there. So let's go over to the next clip. And this is just a short one from April of 2020, just a couple of days before his birthday.
I should do a birthday present opening like Soda Pop and Stream did. I'm not getting any birthday presents. I'm getting a birthday present from my wife. It's going to be a birthday cake she's making me. That's it. That's all I'm getting. My name is Flamebeard. Just cheers and happy early birthday to you, my dude. Thank you very much. Be the Colonel says your birthday present is Resident Evil 3 Remake, so that's what you're playing this weekend. I mean, I guess. I'm certainly... Oh, it looped. I'm certainly not asking for anything. It's not like I'm mad that I'm not getting anything for my birthday. You know what I mean? Like, it's not a big deal. I'm, you know, in my late 30s. I'm not expecting extravagant birthday presents from anybody.
Did you notice him giving away his tail there? And by the way, I have a video on that too, just in case you've never seen it. But again with, I'm not getting any birthday presents. I'm getting a homemade cake from my wife. Well, yeah, that's because you already got your birthday present a couple of weeks earlier, lying-ass piece of trash. Now, let's go into the final video. And this one's 4 minutes long, but I promise you, you're going to enjoy it. And to be honest, I miss these times.
Hello, everybody. Sorry for the extreme close-up face cam here, but I figured I should show you my taxes. Here they are. There's actually a big thing from my tax attorney that I got yesterday, 2017 taxes. You know, and in here, a ridiculous amount of documents and information about, it breaks it down, look, it breaks it down into detail and everything about everything that happened over the course of 2017, what I paid, what I owe, the bill that I got from my tax attorney, yada, yada, yada. It's all right in here, all right? Now, I can't show this to you because it has a ridiculous amount of personal information in there. It's got my tax ID number. It's got filing numbers. It's got addresses. It's got all this information that if it leaked, obviously you know exactly what the trolls would do with it. So I'm not going to show you any of that stuff, all right? Some people have suggested, Phil, scan the documents, block out certain areas, and then upload that blocked to the... It doesn't matter. The bottom line, guys, is it doesn't matter what I show you in here, all right? people will say I lied anyway. People will say it's doctored. People will say I photoshopped it. People will say it's untrue. It doesn't matter what I show you in here. None of it is relevant because people will just immediately just make shit up and say that I lied or whatever, and it's not proof of anything anyway. Okay, and that's sad. It's sad that the people who criticize me the most are not logical. They're not logical humans. They will literally make conspiracy theories up. They will say whatever they want. It doesn't matter what I show you. None of it will prove anything. All right. I have enough money raised since what I had left over from the end of 2017, plus the money that I've raised between, the earlier months of the year and now, plus some other money that has come in, like for example, my parents gave me a birthday gift and stuff like that, all that, and everything I raised this last week, all that money is enough to, number one, pay off the remaining taxes, okay, that I still have to pay for 2017, which are due at the middle of this month, April 17th. And number two, it's enough to pay my tax attorney fees, all right? My remaining taxes are roughly around like $4,000. They're actually a little bit more. I think it's like $4,100 and change. And my tax attorney fees are just under $1,000. So it's about $5,000 that I owe, but I have enough money to cover all of that. That's about almost exactly what I raised. But in the last few months, plus, like I said, people who were very generous this last week, and in addition, my parents helping me and everything. So the good news is, as of last year's taxes, I'm good to go. I'm not going to be considered a default or back. That would be terrible. If I couldn't pay the 2017 taxes, that would be the absolute worst case scenario. The good news is I'm not in the absolute worst case scenario. So then actually now on top of the $5,000 that I have to pay right now, $4,100 or whatever for the rest of my 2017 taxes, and the $1,000 I have to pay to my tax attorney for doing my taxes. They also expect me to pay another $4,000, all right, by April 17th for the first tax payment of 2018. Yeah, I know how stupid that really sounds. It does sound stupid, but that's what they expect me to not only be paying the back, but now pay up front. That's not how business works, but that's how taxes work in the U.S., okay? So I'm screwed. And the reason I'm screwed is literally after I pay the 2017 taxes and my tax attorney, which I have to pay, I can't be overdue on the tax attorney, I have no money to pay these new taxes at all. It doesn't work like, it sucks. And Jeremy says, could you do a payment plan? Dude, that's not how it works. Payment plan, you do a payment plan for back taxes to pay them over time. These are new taxes accruing over the course of 2018. There's no payment plan for it. All right. They just expect it to be due in the middle of April, no matter what. I don't have it. So bottom line is, I won't be overdue on my back taxes from last year, but as of my new taxes of this year, I can't pay them. All right.
Now, just on a personal note, that is one of my favorite videos that Tevin covered. And if it wasn't for videos like that, I never would have started doing this. So prayer hands in chat, please. But he starts by showing you this folder with all his important tax documents in it. Unfortunately, he can't let you see it. And it reminds me of being a kid and some other little dumb punk shows you something and you're like, oh, can I see it? And he pulls it back. No, I can't show it to you. What the fuck did you put it in my face for, dumbass? It's the same thing he did with his list of bills in crayon. You remember that? How anybody takes this guy seriously boggles my mind. So he rants for a while and then sums it up by saying, it doesn't matter what I show you. People are going to call me a liar anyways. Well, I wonder why, Phil. I wonder why nobody takes you serious. Maybe you should move in with your friend Boogie and he can teach you how to lie about having cancer for a couple of years. Piece of fucking shit. But then he says the people that criticize him most are not logical human beings. Meanwhile, he said this right before going into some ridiculous situation about his taxes, where he has some money saved up, plus some birthday money from his parents, which, gee, Phil, why'd you stop all of a sudden mentioning that the last few years? He combines that with money his fans have given him recently, and it all adds up to just enough to cover everything. But surprise, surprise, he's talking about last year's taxes, which means he clearly doesn't have any money set aside for this year's taxes, which the first payment is due in 10 days from that video. But the most ridiculous part of it all is someone says, can't you just do a payment plan? And Phil says, no, that's not how it works. That's literally how it works. People get on payment plans all the time. In fact, aren't you currently on one, Phil? Because somehow you're still behind on your taxes all these years later. And by the way, when you're self-employed, You have the option to pay your taxes quarterly or at the end of the year in one lump sum. But remember, we're not logical human beings, and we're gonna call him a liar no matter what he says. Alright, and this was just supposed to be a video about some $1,000 mobile check deposits, but he just lies so much and tries to confuse everybody. You end up finding shit that you forgot about from years ago. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope y'all are gonna send me some $1,000 birthday checks that I can deposit. Hint, hint. The Side Scrollers interview should be the next video out. I'll talk to y'all in a couple of days. Let's fucking go, man.
What happened to the Vestreak money? It went to pay for stuff, genius. Bills, back taxes. Like, it paid for a tremendous amount of things around here. What do you think it did? Oh my god, people are so dumb. Because you know, during the time when the Vestreak was going on, every financial thing in my life was suspended. I didn't have to pay my mortgage. I didn't have to pay my car payment. I didn't have to pay for games, electricity, health insurance. I didn't have to pay for the lawyer for the bankruptcy proceeding, doubly over, because the lawyer ended up getting held up even longer than they were supposed to because of false shit that was said about me. None of that happened, right? I didn't have ridiculous amount of back taxes to get caught up on and pay. None of that happened. None of that. I live in an igloo out on an iceberg, and nothing cost me anything. My life is free. So when I got the Vestreak happened, that was all money that just sat in a lockbox in front of me, right? I never touched it. You are a fucking idiot.